great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 749 of the show. How's everybody doing? Today is, I don't know what day today is. Let's see. Today is January 27th, and this is episode 749. Running around a little crazy today, sort of hectic at work, as you might imagine. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. If you're new to the show, please leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. For everybody else, good to see you. A lot of our regulars I see in the comments, so thank you for that. I will share the link to come into the waiting room if you want to ask me a question. I can't monitor the chat while things are going on. AJ's in Asia and woke up at 5 a.m. for the show. Well, thank you, AJ. Let's talk to Just an Immigrant and get started. Hello.
Hey, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm well.
First of all, thank you for having me here, and thank you for whatever you do for the immigrant community.
Sure.
We are very, very thankful for that.
Thanks.
I have a friend, immigrant A, who's married to a US citizen B. A has a 751 filed and an N400 filed. Both are the pending cases. A has a conditional green card. The expiry date on which has expired, but the notice of extension has been provided, both for 751 and N400. Both A and B have traveled outside the US, but they haven't been to A's home country yet. Now A needs to travel to his home country. Both A and B plan to travel to their home country later this year, but A needs to travel to his home country in next 15 days. Do you think this can be an issue?
No. I mean, everything's good with the marriage.
Yes.
There's no doubt the U.S. citizen hasn't notified immigration that the marriage is on the rocks or anything.
Nothing.
And so the beneficiary has the expired green card and the extension letter.
That is correct.
How long of a trip?
Maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And yeah, I mean, I would be prepared I'm trying to encourage everybody not to travel for 6 months until we see what kind of BS Trump pulls. So if it could be avoided, I'd avoid it. And if I could travel with my spouse, that would be better. But as of right now, I don't know of anything that would change my idea that it should generally be okay.
Okay. And the extension letter that was provided for 751 and the N400 provides two different duration for extension. One is 24 months and other is 36 months. Which one should be presented at the port of entry?
Bring them both.
Okay, awesome. And do you see if A travel alone, do you see this can be an issue during if the 751 interview has been scheduled?
Is A the beneficiary, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, usually when you get a 751 notice, you have 4 or 6 weeks of lead time. So if the interview was going to come while A is gone, I would think they'd have the notice already. So I think it should be okay.
No, I meant if the interview gets scheduled and if they see that the A has traveled without B, can this?
Oh, yeah. I think they want you to explain it. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. That's all I had.
Have a great day. Here's some good news. Nurse Laura just sent off her 751. Good job, Laura. I'm sure you did a great job. All right. Let's say hi to Mariana. Hello, Mariana.
Hi, Jim. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you very much for everything, for all the information that you share with us.
Sure.
I have a case. My case is just that I'm a permanent resident and I apply in October and I get approved for removal condition. My permanent resident card I get because I'm married with an American. So I have the removal condition, and I have a letter, receipt notices that say that uh, my permanent resident that expired in December of the last year have 48 months from the day of expiration day. So, I mean, I have 2 years more or more. I don't, for 8 months, it's like 4 years. So, but now I, from that time to now, I didn't leave from this country, and now I feel me a little bit scared because even I have this notice. I don't know if I should wait a little bit for leave from the country, because every time I'm from Colombia, every time that I come back with my husband, even we travel together a lot to Colombia. They always make me a lot of questions. Many times they put me in secondary. So I'm not sure if I should wait a little bit and since what is going on, because Trump make changes from one day to another. So it's a little bit, I'm feeling a little bit like scared about that.
I wouldn't leave the United States anytime soon with what's going on between Trump and Colombia. There's no way, even as a green card holder, I wouldn't leave right now. He's acting too crazily and doing too much crap.
Okay. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. So
I mean,
I'm going to take really
I think
your
everybody,
advice.
most people should refrain from leaving the United States for the first 6 months of the Trump administration until we can figure out, as he said last time, what the hell's going on around here.
Yes, yes, that's wise in this moment. That's true.
Good luck, Mark.
Okay. Okay, Jim. Thank you very much.
For sure. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right. All right. Next up, Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Nikki, you're on mute.
Well, sorry about that. Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for everything that you do.
Sure.
I have questions from a friend of mine.
Okay.
She's trying to find out if same-sex marriage is still valid for a petition, like for a
As
green card.
of today, it is.
Okay. And two other questions. If you have a real ID, can you fly, or will that be a problem with ICE?
Are you talking about an undocumented person?
Yes, they have a they have a I-4, they have a marriage based petition in, and they have their work permit.
Okay. So this person was out of status before they got married. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
And now they're married to a U.S. citizen and they have an I-130. Yeah, I would not travel. I would not travel on a plane until I had my green card, even
Okay.
in the United States.
Okay. And is there any changes to the marriage process from Trump, like he did in his first term? Has he made any changes as yet?
No, not yet.
And if you have a petition, how would that like affect your petition that's already in, other than the wait time?
That's a good question. I think that there will be some regulations that they'll try to apply retroactively, and then there'll be some that they try to apply only moving forward. So we just have to wait and see.
Okay. Okay.
It's harder for them. It's harder for them to change the rules for people whose cases were already on file. And if it was a clean legal issue, that's something I would sue them over. But otherwise, I think we just have to wait and see.
Okay. And so far, he hasn't come with anything yet.
No, just as BS, hiring freezes and all this stuff, but nothing substantive as of yet.
Okay, thank you so much. And I really appreciate all that you do. And I recommend you to everyone, even on Instagram. I keep sharing the link.
Thank you, Nikki. Have a great day. Call me back if you have any more questions, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Jim.
Bye. All right, all right. Hey, I see we got a lot of Yardies in the house. Donna is here. Phoenix is here. Rich is here. Big ups to all the Yardies. The Yardies always cheer me up. It's always good to hear from them. Let's go over to JP. Hello, JP. You're on mute, JP. There's somebody named Mamadou Shaw asking to be brought onto the show, but there's no Mamadou Shaw in the waiting room. So I don't know how that works. JP, are you there?
Yeah, hey, good evening, Jim. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I have a few questions for you. So, first of all, just like everybody else, thank you for what you do. Um, I have a bit of a case. So I've applied for AP, but it's currently pending an approval. But just like you mentioned to one of your callers, I'm Colombian myself. Obviously, my AP is pending an adjudication. I'm currently under DACA. The whole reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to fix my status altogether.
Got it.
I understand that, I mean, as of right now, there have been no changes when it comes to the laws themselves. Obviously, we have to wait to see what happens with Colombia, but just like you recommended her, I'm assuming even with an approved AP, do you suggest that I leave in order for me to come back and fix my status?
Are you in a position where if you came back with advanced parole that you would have that, and then you then had that valid entry? Are you in a position like you're in a relationship where you would get married and get started?
Correct. So my girlfriend and I have been together for 3 years already.
Yeah. No, that would definitely be that to me. That would definitely be worthwhile taking the chance on advanced parole. I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to be let back in,
Of course.
but I think that's your best shot, because otherwise you're talking about a waiver and years and years. If I could get advanced parole approved, like I'll put it to you this way. We're still signing up cases for advanced parole for DACA kids in the hopes that we can get it for them and get them back here before they change the rules.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to take advantage of. For some reason, I mean, they had to get fingerprints and whatnot, but they only needed a thumb. They were missing a thumb out of everything. I was hoping that I would get the biometrics waived. Sadly, it didn't happen. Is there a specific port of entry that you're against? I'm based out of Florida.
I don't play that game just because you could get the meanest officer in the worst in the best office, or you could get the nicest officer in the worst office. So I don't usually spend much time thinking about that. Although generally I'm down on Miami.
Okay, so definitely not Miami. Okay. All right. So there is also a part of the show I was listening. Um, would there be an issue if I'm trying to adjust my status? Let's say that I leave with the AP, come back, no issues happen. I do know that you said that there is a 60-day period of waiting. Would that apply to me as well?
Mm-hmm.
It would.
Well, that's a good question. It's funny because usually in these scenarios, the people are actually already married. I don't know. I would say email me that question, and I'll try to come up with a good answer for you.
Okay. That's fine. The only bad part is that I'm driving. I have a list of questions. I'll stay in the room if that's okay with you. Once I get to my destination, I'll try to rejoin later on. But thank you so much for answering the ones that I have at the top of my
I will
mind
know
right
it
now.
later on during this call. I'm just saying, get the email off the bottom of the screen and email me, and we'll go from there.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Jim. You have a good night.
Bye, buddy. All right, Sam is here. Hello, Sam.
Hey, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much.
Sure. What's up?
So I just got my citizenship on December.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm planning to apply for my mom and my siblings. And I want to know what's the best way to do it, because I heard there's two different different ways that you can do it. So to explain it more, I have my older sibling. He's already married. I'm not planning to apply for him right now. And I have another sibling that is here with his wife, and he is a permanent resident. He has his 10-year green card. And
so you're not going to apply for him either?
No. So I have my mom, and I have other 4 siblings, 18, 2 of them 16, and 1 of them is 4. And I want to apply for all of them. I heard there's 2 ways. The first way, I just apply for all of them together. The other way I heard is like I bring them here with a visiting visa, then I do adjust the status.
No. There's a 20-year wait on sponsoring your brother or sister. That's not going to work for anybody.
Even under 18?
Even under 18.
Okay.
They're only in the F4 category. They're only the brother or sister of a U.S. citizen. There's a 20-year backlog on those cases, and they don't get to stay in the United States while that's pending.
Okay. So what's the best way to do it?
Well, the best way, I mean, the 18-year-old's going to age out most likely.
Mhm.
The best thing to do, I mean, it's the best. It's making the best of a shitty situation because the rules haven't changed, the numbers haven't changed, and the backlogs haven't changed in a really long time. But basically, the way that you do it is you apply for mom and probably mom alone. You go through the process of getting mom her green card. Once she has her green card, then she applies for her children who are under 21 and hope that they don't age out. And that case right now is a 3 or 4 year wait. So we don't know who that would actually work for, but that's going to be much faster than you applying for your brother or sister.
Okay. And when I apply for mom, when she gets her green card, does she need to be here to apply for the rest, or she can apply?
Yeah. So if I would imagine she's like taking care of these little kids at home.
Yeah.
So then you have to add another layer to it. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So you apply, get mom her immigrant visa. She comes to the United States. She gets her green card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she applies for I-130s for each kid. Okay. And she applies for something called a reentry permit. A reentry permit would let her, as a green card holder, stay out of the United States for 2 years. And she would do that while the cases for the little kids are pending so that she can go back and take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they get approved, then she comes back on her green card and they all have a green card. That's the goal. It's really hard to pull off. Literally in our career at the firm, I think we've pulled this off for big families like 3 or 4 times in years.
So anybody will, if anybody aged above 21 in this period, well, basically that will be a different scenario for them, right?
There's a thing called the Child Status Protection Act that will freeze their ages, but that all depends on a lot of different factors that we can't control right now, most of which is when does mom actually get her green card? How old are they on that day? How old are they when she applies? And then how long does USCIS take to actually approve the I-130? There's sort of this complicated calculation that you have to do.
Okay.
That we can only guess now. I would imagine that the 2 younger ones will make it and the 2 older ones will age out, if I had to guess.
Okay. Another question. So my the main reason that I want to bring them here is because my father passed away last year.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And me and my brother, like the main support for the family. That's why we want them here. Is there any way that we can use this situation to
that's like the cases they handle every single day.
Okay. Well, I think that's all. Thank you so much.
You got it, Sam. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. How's everybody doing? Listen, we got a lot of people watching, probably some new people. We'd love to have you introduce yourself. Just leave us a comment. Let us know maybe who you are or where you're watching from. Let us know how things are for you. And we're going to go talk to Sohail. Hello, Sohail.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this. I'll just explain my case. So my mother is a permanent resident, and she petitioned for my I-130 in January of 2023. We're all from India, and I just had a few questions because I was having issues with one of my documents, like my birth certificate. So in India, you don't really put your name. And so how do I go about this? Because my I-130 is still processing and it's not approved yet. And it's been more than 2 years now. And I'm kind of getting nervous. So, what should I do exactly?
Who's the petitioner? Your mom?
Yeah, my mother. My mother married my stepdad, and she's about to get her citizenship, but she still has her green card. I mean, she's still on a green card.
And how old are you?
I am 25, so F2B category, if I'm not wrong.
Right. So they're not gonna work on your I-130 for a long time because the visa bulletin is so backlogged.
Yeah, I think it's May 2016 at this moment.
And what's your priority date?
January 15, 2023.
So that's 7 years. So they're literally not gonna look at your I-130 for 7 years. At least.
Wow. Mhm. Yeah, so for my birth certificate, since there's no name, I
Well,
did submit
let's talk about that because I just pulled up, and I will pull it up on the screen, the visa reciprocity table for India. And this is where we always have to start when we're analyzing whether what we've gotten is going to make the government happy or not. All right. So when it comes to birth certificates, what year were you born?
1998.
Okay. And you have a birth certificate or you don't have a birth certificate?
Yeah, I have a birth certificate. It's translated in English, and my mom submitted the birth certificate with the translation at that time. But again, since it doesn't have my name, it only has my parents' name. She did submit an affidavit where she said that she basically explained the customs or whatever, and apart from that, she submitted secondary evidence like the government documents, which has my name and my father's name, and her passport, which has.
So the reason for all this is because she didn't name you immediately after your birth?
I asked her, but she just said that it's in that country you don't. I mean, in this country you don't really, they don't really put your name because I don't know, it's some custom or whatever. I honestly I don't know the reason, but I just know that a lot of people.
My brother. That's the $1 million question. Whatever she put in her letter, if it doesn't explain that, is worthless.
She just wrote that it's a religious custom that they don't put the name immediately on the birth certificate.
What religion says? I've been an immigration lawyer. I've handled thousands of cases from India. I've never heard of any religious custom that says you don't put and if she doesn't submit supporting testimony from a religious leader, or I mean that I don't think they're going to buy that at all.
I'm a Sikh, so I don't even know if that's a thing, but that's what she wrote in her affidavit.
Well, is it true?
No, I don't know. She just I don't know. She just said that I also did some research, and even on some links it says that they don't really put your name on the birth certificate.
Okay, my brother. Okay, I will tell you. I was reading my immigration book today. I read a half hour of immigration law every day, pretty much to stay up to date on things. And I came across something that I think a lot of people need to think about when they watch this show and when they think about their immigration, okay? And that is, I'll ask you the question, whose burden is it to prove that you are eligible for the visa? Is it the government's burden or is it your burden?
Of course, it's ours.
Yeah, so you need to do a whole lot better job between now and when they start looking. I mean, you might be lucky in a way that they're not looking at your file anytime soon. You have to do a lot more work than this explanation you've given. I mean, it sounds to me like you don't even have a good handle on your own file. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they operate from the assumption. Listen, they operate from the assumption that everybody is lying to them, and that every document you give us is fake. That's the mindset they start at. So you and your mother have hand delivered them a very, 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 very easy way to deny the case. So I would get hard at work coming up with what's the real explanation as to why mom didn't put my name on there, and then explain it religiously, politically, legally, chronologically, whatever it is, whatever the reasons are, the reasons that you're spinning ain't gonna fly. You can't just throw some shit up there and then click on some link, tell them to go click on these links and think that's going to carry the day. You're talking about giving a green card to somebody. And you know, again, another reason why you might be lucky they don't look at this for another 7 years is that hopefully Trump won't be in office. right?
That's a big one. Yeah.
You got a lot of work to do.
So what do you recommend? Like what
Sit
should
down
I
with your
exactly
mom
do?
and say, Mom, what's the real reason you didn't put my name on the birth certificate? Mom, how do
That
we
was when I was that was when I was born. So
she's alive, right?
yeah.
You need to push her. You need to say, Mom, this case is going to get denied. I just have her watch this video.
I did, but she just said that it's a custom. She didn't honestly. She didn't even
That's
say it's a
cap.
religious.
That's cap. Nobody's going to believe that. She's just making
Yeah.
that up. It's not custom.
So what should I get my name added, or like what should I exactly do? I mean, just confused.
I'm sorry. You should talk to your mom and find out.
I did, but she's not really into these document stuff. She doesn't know much about it, so that's why I wanted
Does
somebody's opinion.
she want her son to come to the United States?
Yeah, of course.
She has to get familiar with the document stuff. Nobody gets a pass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not even close. I mean, this is an easy denial. We don't know who you are. You made up some reason saying it's customary in India. We are the State Department. We talk to India every day. We see birth certificates every day. We don't ever see birth certificates with nobody's name on there.
So what I was thinking was so since she's in the US and I'm here, so she can't really do anything in person. So I was thinking of getting my name added. Like I'll just have I don't know, I have to contact someone in the local.
Here's what I would do.
Yeah.
Number one, I would push Mom to tell me the truth and explain to me why she didn't do it.
She blatantly said it's a custom that you don't really put your children's name.
Tell her the U.S. government is not going to accept the custom.
I did say that.
Okay.
I did tell her.
I'm just telling you what to do. I can't deal with your mother, right?
Mhm.
So this is what you need to do. You need to push your mom and get the truth, and then you need to push her and say no one's buying the custom argument, and then you need to hire a lawyer in India to help you figure out how to get a birth certificate with your name on it properly.
So like let's say if I'm not able to do that, can I do the DNA testing or something? Because I did.
If they ask you to 10 years from now, if they don't straight up deny it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you said that it's gonna be a very long time since when they actually start.
10 years to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Yep. All right, Dr. Nasir, if you turn off your camera, I will pull you up next. All right, here he is. Hello, doctor. Doctor, we can't hear you. I think this happened last time. All right, got to fix that mic, brother. Help, please. Hello. It took me a minute to translate what that said. Help, please.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Just a couple of questions. So we are currently filling out all the documents, the I-130 and all the rest of the documents. There's so many of them. One of the questions we had was, with the passport pictures, do we need to submit multiple passport pictures for each individual document if we're submitting the entire package together? Or because a couple of them ask for passport photos.
Yeah, it's been a really long time since I put a packet together. And some other people in the comments might be able to answer this better than me, but I believe you just have to submit the two.
Okay. And then I guess the other question is, obviously, we're very nervous. We've been married for just maybe a little over a month. And I don't know, it's really scary out here right now.
It is. It is.
I mean, like any words of advice or wisdom, because it's really scary out here for an undocumented person and to be going through this process.
Okay, so the beneficiary is out of status, or they entered without inspection and are out of status?
Out of status. Not they had inspection.
How long have they been out of status?
It's been 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
And you're going to file this without an attorney with Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security?
So we called your office, and he definitely wants to hire an attorney, but he wants to submit the documents prior to, because so I guess he called your office, and I think he said he spoke to Emmanuel or Daniel at your office, and they said it was going to take 3 to 6 weeks to submit the file to the
Yeah,
immigration
do you
office.
know why? Do you know why that is?
My thoughts are that you guys are going to be thorough about what you're
Exactly
submitting.
right.
So
That's exactly right.
yeah, so I
So
didn't understand.
just to be clear, my brother's been out of status for 20 years, but he doesn't want to wait 3 weeks to file it correctly.
Right.
So a couple things to think about. Number one, when you get married and you're out of status, you're at the top of the fraud list. Like that is literally the first thing on the fraud checklist.
I understand that.
And so that means it's held to a higher standard. Number two, every case is going to get an interview moving forward. Number three, if you or he have watched this show for very long, you know how often people try to file it on their own and mess it up. Right?
Right.
So all those things. And then one more thing that I want you to think about, and I don't want you to answer this right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that is 20 years in the United States without status. The one thing I worry about the most, do you know what it is?
What's that?
False claim to U.S. citizenship. On a bank loan, on a student loan, on a job application, on a lease. It's a deportable offense to make a false claim to U.S. citizenship. So I think he's got a lot of little things to worry about, and they're going to think that he has a false claim to citizenship, and he's going to have to prove otherwise. So I would say it's going to be knives out, and maybe, and you said you've only been married a month. How long have you been together?
3 years.
So that's good. So, okay, so I'll just add a little addendum. So my brother waited 20 years, and he's been with you for 3 years, and now we wait until Donald Trump is here to finally get our act and file things.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's how I view things. That's how I have to view things now. My job is worst case scenario. So why he would rush to file something when he's not an expert in it, and they're itching for ways to deny people. I mean, go back and look for stories about what happened in that first year of Trump's term the last time. They were denying cases because you didn't put NA, not applicable, in every blank spot. It was nuts. So you guys are certainly free to do whatever you like, but I would strongly recommend on a case where, I mean, even if Kamala had been reelected, I would probably have suggested that you hire an attorney. But now, I mean, I'm not trying to scare people or convince people, but I just would not mess around with this.
Okay. Okay. And I could be a little bit wrong about the date, the amount of time that he
Yeah,
had
that's okay.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean,
at least it's been at least 15 years. Yeah. For sure. Okay.
All right, great. Well, tell Daniel if you want to get to work on the case. I mean, we can move quickly, but we got a lot of people knocking on the door right now, which is why 3 weeks. It's to do it right and to represent people the best we can. Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna have him watch this so he.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much. Have a
Okay,
good night.
bye. Yeah, for sure. Hey, look who's in the waiting room. It's our friend Carolyn. Hello, Carolyn.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Where are you?
I'm in Kansas. I've been here for 2 weeks. I'm taking care of my great nephew, who's almost 2 years old.
Well,
My
nice.
sister and her husband, they went on a cruise. So I had to deliver in Leavenworth, and they live in Leavenworth. So just kind of worked out for everybody.
The only thing I know about Leavenworth is I think that's where the military prison is, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Were you dropping off there?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, is that in the middle of the state?
It's where is it St. Joseph's? Near St. Joseph's. It's really close to Kansas City.
Oh,
in fact, right across. They live on the river, the Missouri River, and maybe 500 feet is Missouri.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, what can I help you with?
Well, I got some good news.
Nice.
My husband picked up his passport today, and I
Where?
booked his flight, so he'll be
Yeah.
here on the 17th of February.
Which embassy?
Amman.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. That's good. Hi. Do you want to give us the timeline, start to finish?
Okay. Let's see. I filed the I-130 in December of 2022. Yeah, 2022. It was approved November 2023. I filed the fees for NVC. It took me actually a little time because I'm on the road so much.
Right.
So I filed that in February. We submitted all our documents. I went to Jordan in April, and we filed everything to NVC. We got everything accepted in May, and we got the interview letter in July. Yes, in July, and he had his interview January 5th.
Oh, wow.
And we picked up his, well, it went into administrative processing, and then we both started freaking out.
Right.
Because we do have a large age gap. So so we were both like on pins and needles there for just a couple days, like 3 days, and then we saw it was issued, and he picked up his passport today.
Okay, so February 17th is about what, 3 weeks from now?
Yes.
And that's okay because and is he from a country that was on the Muslim ban before?
Well, he's in Jordan.
But what's his passport?
Jordan.
Okay, he's Jordanian. Okay, so we're good. Okay, good. And plus, so here's what the reason I asked is because on Inauguration Day, which is the 20th, Trump gave him the State Department, I think 30 days or maybe 60 days. It was 60 days to start looking into, doing another ban. It's just, it's all been already determined. But okay, so we're cool. So, okay, great. Well, that's great. Thanks for letting us know.
I sure will. And keep watching as always.
Yeah, if you come through St. Louis, come see us.
I will. In fact, I pass through St. Louis quite often, so
Well,
I'm always like, I wonder where Jim is.
Yeah. Well, let us know. Thanks, Carolyn. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Oh, Carolyn always tells us where she is. I love that. The Nornator's here. Hello, Nornator. What time is it? 6 o'clock. Where are you? What are you doing, Nor? You're supposed to be. When are you coming home? I got to make dinner, and I got to do a talk at 7 for Maryville. All right. While I sort out my daughter, let's say hi to Carolyn. Hello, Carolyn.
Hello, Jane. It's a pleasure being talking to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Well, Jane, my question is, we filed a I-130, I-4084, 885, and the work authorization. I came here to this country with a visitor visa. I already stayed 2 years ago. I got married to an American citizen in September.
Great. Congrats.
We filed just on January 17th.
Okay.
And we got an email a message from USIS saying that they got our case. I was checking yesterday just out of curiosity, and they said that they scheduled a biometric appointment. And I was just wondering, Jimmy, what can I expect out of this? Because I overstayed my visa and I'm working illegally.
Right. Yeah, we were just talking about this at work today. So the question that was asked of me was, Jim, do you think ICE will pick people up from biometrics appointments? And I think the answer to that question is yes. I think ICE will do that. I think what we're going to see is ICE is going to think up every place where there are sometimes immigrants who are out of status, and then go and arrest them and put them in detention just so that they can get publicity for all these different places where they do it. I don't think they're going to do it like wide scale, right? But I do think they're going to do it. Do I think they're going to do it to you? Probably not, right? Probably not. So, I mean, the thing is, if you don't do your biometrics, then you don't get your green card, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I might do is go there with your husband and have him sort of check things out. I mean, and it's going to be hard. But, you know, I'm just picturing our local biometrics office. It's pretty small. You should be able to see if people are hanging. I mean, in St. Louis, the biometrics office is at the front of the building and the ICE is at the back of the building, right? Some offices, like you got to pass by ICE to get to USCIS. So I would say, yeah, just, I think you have to sort of hold your breath and go from there.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. And what do you think they're gonna do about me being working illegally and overstaying my visa?
So both of those are forgiven because you're married to a U.S. citizen.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, thank you so much, Jimmy, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Bye, Carolyn. See ya. Good luck.
Bye.
Let us know how it goes, okay?
Yes, sure. Thank you.
I'll say one other thing.
Yep.
If I were in your shoes, I might go a different day to see if they'll take you on a different day, if that makes sense, right? In other words, if we think they're going to be sitting there waiting for you to come, which I don't think they will be, but if I think that, I might go on an earlier day and see if they'll take you early, just to sort of throw off their schedule.
Okay, but I just go and I just show up to the place?
Yeah, like go right when they open and say, "Hey, is there any chance I was downtown? Is there any chance you could do it today?" And see what they say.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna let you know what happened.
Okay, thanks, Carolyn. See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I was thinking today that if I were, I really think that a lot of this is really bad theater, and I mean, I do think there are going to be people that are swept up in all this stuff, but I think you're going to see news stories about ICE being at different places, like hospitals. Like they won't going to go to every hospital. They can't go to every hospital, but that they're going to try to scare people. Hello, Caro Demas. I see you there. All right, let's go to Maria. Hello, Maria.
Hello, Jim. Thank you so much for all your help.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. So I am an American citizen. I was naturalized like 8 years ago.
Great.
I have two boys, 14 and 18-year-old American citizens as well. And my husband, he came on in 2001 without inspection. He was caught 28 days, and then they let him go.
Inside the United States?
Inside the United States.
Yeah.
He never received anything because, you know, there's an address that they put in there. They made him sign documents that he had no idea what he was signing, but that was just so they would let him go.
Sure.
So in 2016, February 2016, we had I-130 approved.
Okay.
Then we had I-212 approved in June of 2020.
And what did he need the 212 for?
Well, the attorney that we had, he thought that it would be good to take care of the 212 and the I-601A at the same time or around the same time.
Smart, yeah.
So then we also got the I-601A approved in April of 2024.
Okay.
And he had his interview in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil on August 1st of 2024.
And he's still there?
He's still there. It's going to be 180 days next week.
What are they saying? Are they saying anything?
So they say it's in administrative processing, extensive administrative processing. I've been emailing them every single month, and they always say the same thing, that it is right now it is refused because it is in administrative processing. They understand how frustrating this is, but it will remain refused until they do an adjudication. And yeah.
Sue them. You should sue them.
Yeah.
6 months is crazy. He might. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I would sue them as soon as possible.
Yes. Is that something that we could like? So we had an attorney all this time, right?
Yeah.
But only after my husband stayed there all this time, we realized, and she told us that she had no experience with people in Brazil, with clients in Brazil.
Oh, I don't think that's a big deal. It sounds like she did everything right. So everything you've told me so far sounds pretty good.
Well, actually, she did just the two last stops. The first one, the I-130, was another attorney who passed away.
Yeah.
So we were pretty unlucky on that, all that. So, okay. So what do I do to like, because through this process, we were not very happy with the way she handled some things, even though she got us approved. So is it okay if we just switch?
Yeah, and a lot of times with lawsuits, we don't even become the lawyer in the underlying case. You can keep her. We can help with that part. But the important thing now is to sue them and get that part going. Have you called our office at all? If not, you should email us and say, I'm Maria. I was on the show with Jim at the 45-minute mark on Monday, and he wants me to follow up with you guys about a lawsuit.
Okay. Okay. Now, what's the success on that? Have you had cases like this before?
Yeah, for sure. And so the government sometimes files motions to dismiss, and they say basically that your husband hasn't waited long enough. But they usually do that only when there hasn't been an interview. But when there has been an interview and 6 months have gone by, those are very successful.
Okay. Okay. I even wrote to the congressman here, and the congressman emailed them, and he got exactly the same answer that we got.
Yeah, that means they're sitting on it. Is there no crimes?
No crimes. But in the beginning, they were saying that their records showed that he had committed a felony. Mm-hmm. Their records. And then our attorney emailed them and said, my client has not committed any felony, neither in the United States, nor in Brazil, nor any other part of the world. And so I don't know if they were trying to catch us because they saw that.
Does he have a common name?
No, not really. Altaid. However, in his FOIA, his name is typed wrong.
Yeah. So this is a great reason to sue them, because when they're confused about things, that's a good time to sue them, because otherwise you're just stuck in this and they can't clear it because it's not a real person, right?
Yes. However, the A number is there, and now the A number that we filled out for his process is the same A number. So maybe they see that it's the same person, right?
There's something wrong. Yep.
Even though his name is not typed correctly in the FOIA, but the A number that we've been, that they have on file is the same. So I guess from the A number, they can see that it's the same person.
Sounds like it. Thanks, Maria.
Okay. Thank you. I will email then. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Tony in the house. Hello, Tony.
How you doing, Jim?
Good, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Last time I talked was about 3 years ago, I think, when Daniel was basically a permanent co-host of the show.
He was on last week
I know. I was just getting ready to say it was really nice to see him on again after so long.
It was indeed.
Yeah. So here's my questions. First one is there a concern that for people we had to go through the I-751 process because our initial green card for my wife, we were married for less than 2 years. So we had an interview for the initial green card, but we did not have an interview for the I-751. Sure. Is there a concern that the Trump people might go after those cases that did not have interviews and redo them or reinvestigate them?
If the benefit's been issued, that would be really hard. I think they got bigger fish to fry, more things that they want to fight about.
Okay, good. The other thing is, we've been going on the premise that with my wife, we haven't. I guess the letter of the law says you have to have your green card on you at all times.
Right.
But we haven't been doing it because of fear of losing it or getting it stolen or something like that. And we've been advised by several people to do it that way.
That's how I've always told people.
Right. And so does that change? Should we revisit that?
I think I would carry it on me.
Because she also, her driver's license is real ID also. So
I would make sure that the real ID is not going to do much with ICE. So yeah, I would carry it on me, and I would make sure I have a scan of both sides of it, you know, on my phone and at home, in case you do lose it.
Okay. All right. Because I mean, she's got global entry and TSA pre. I mean, she's been vetted out to you know what, and so
right.
So even though if she loses, because the fear was losing it, it takes forever to get it replaced.
True. How close is she to filing for Nats?
For what?
For naturalization.
Oh, she's eligible on the 3-year. She is eligible on the 3-year rule now. Next year she'll be eligible on the 5-year rule. She hasn't done it yet because her English isn't as good as it could be, and she's practicing.
Well, I would tell her that her English is probably better than she thinks. She should study up a little bit and try to take it now before they make the test harder.
Right. I agree with that. She knows the questions. I mean, she knows them. It's just like it's just when it gets to the point where she either has to read them in English or. You know what I mean? Because they say they ask them in English and have you write them in English or something along those lines.
No. They ask you a question and you have to read a question and you have to write an answer. That's it.
Right. That's the part that she's scared of.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. And so far I haven't been able to buy. And at this point she's like her green card. It's like it lasts for another 10 years. She's willing to wait until after he's out.
Oh, well, I get that too.
I don't know if that's the best or not, but I mean, I think we're good to go for now. But if it were up to me, totally, I'd have her do it. But she's just too scared. I don't want to put her in that situation in front of an officer.
Here's what I would do. Here's the question. Don't tell her this, but this is the one that they ask you the most. Okay.
Okay.
The question you have to read, and you write it down for her, and it's this: who lives in the White House? Who lives in the White House? Like 8 times out of 10, that's the question that you have to read. And then they tell you, write down on an iPad, the president lives in the White House. The president in the White House. That's what you have to write.
Oh. Okay.
So are those questions, are those things she could probably, I mean, the one Amani had one the other day that I hadn't heard before, and it was, what is the biggest state? What is the biggest state? And then the person had to write, Alaska is the biggest state, or something like that.
Right.
So, I mean, if she could pull those off, it's not like you're being asked to read Charles Dickens or anything. You know?
Oh, I know that because we got we got the printout and everything, and she goes through them and she knows them and everything. It's just that.
But those, I should check this, and this is something I should know. The questions that you have to write and read are not the 100 questions. They're not.
They're not?
No, they're much simpler. It literally is, who lives in the White House? I don't think that's one of the 100 questions.
Well, why would they? I thought they had to ask you from the bank of questions.
They ask you 10 questions and you have to get those 6 right. That's just saying it out loud. And here we should have her on and I'll do it with her. Who's the vice president of the United States? What is one state that borders Canada? And you just have to say out loud what those answers are. Then when that's over, they have you read one sentence or one question and write one sentence. That's it.
So is that uniform across the country, or is it different between field offices?
It's not. It is not. I mean,
I've been in Baltimore.
Baltimore, for sure. Down Baltimore. Baltimore's great. I've been to probably 40 field offices and naturalization, and I've never had them ask anything other than those really basic ones.
Huh. All right. I'll have to have a discussion then.
Yeah, come on, tell her. We believe in her.
Now, let me ask you this. Okay, worst case scenario. What if she's out somewhere and she encounters the bad people and she doesn't have her green card on her? What happens? And she has a real ID license on her.
Real ID doesn't do jack squat. That's
Because you can't get real ID unless you're documented, right?
yeah, but they're not going to rely on state IDs for jack squat. That, you know, they're federal, so they don't care about that.
Oh, I thought real ID was I thought that was a federal standard thing or whatever.
It is a federal standard, but it's a state document. They're not going to give any
Oh.
weight to that thing.
What take care of the global entry?
Global entry they might, but global entry doesn't say what her immigration status is, I don't think.
You can't get it without being an LPR or a citizen.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, it is. You have to. We just went through after she got her 10-year green card, we applied and for global entry and TSA pre, you have to be a citizen or an LPR.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but anyways, I think we're going to rethink the whole thing as far as her carrying her green card now.
Thanks, Tony. See you, buddy.
Thank you very much for everything you do. It's wonderful.
My pleasure. Have a great night.
Take care.
Okay. All right. Maribel, if you turn off your camera, I will pull you up next. You've been waiting. There she is. She's going to turn off her camera. I took off her last name. Thank you for that, Alejandra. Maribel, your camera's still on, sweetheart. There you go. Ready?
Yes.
Hi, Maribel.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Oh, good, thank you. I have a few questions, Mr. Jim. I am filling out right now my brother's the form is IA-64, and then I was wondering when we send the package to the embassy that we're gonna need the the form I-30, the relative form that we filled out the first time, like 24 years ago.
So, so this sounds like a great call. So 24 years ago, you filed an I-130 for your brother.
Yes.
And USCIS approved it. And now, after all these years, over 2 decades, his visa is now current. And you're at the National Visa Center, and it's time to submit the affidavit of support for your brother.
Yes, correct.
And your question is, what about the I-130? Do you have to have a copy of it? Is that what you mean?
No, I don't have anything, and I just went to the place that we fill out the form, and they said that they don't have anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, you don't need it right now because if they're processing the case at the National Visa Center, they actually have it, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So what you could do is you could do it would be a good thing for you to have.
Uh-huh.
But you could do a FOIA for a Freedom of Information Act, but I wouldn't. I would just leave it alone. You don't need it right now.
But I will need it like eventually, or I'm not gonna need it at all. No.
I mean, here's the thing. If you ask for it right now, it's going to slow things down. So this is maybe later you might want to ask for it, like after you're done with the affidavit of support, maybe then request it. But until then, I wouldn't mess with it.
Oh, okay, okay. And I was wondering if there's any problem with the website because I can upload the documents. It's take a long time, and they said that they have problems, but I don't know that it's just me or it's just the system, or I don't know what's going on.
So you paid the fees?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So I don't know about that website. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. I would just keep checking.
Oh, check every day. And one more question. Did they accept the form with the black ink, or it had to be just type in?
Yeah, they will accept it with black ink.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because one person, so I'm like, oh no, they don't accept that. Like, how in the website they give you the instructions and they told you like, oh, okay, yeah, we accept either one, black ink or type in. Oh, okay. I was just wondering that. And then you think if it's already not 2025, they're gonna request me for the taxes for this year, the 2024, or because I'm sending everything, but it was the 2021, 22, and the 23.
So my question is, could you do your taxes for this year quickly?
Not really. Because we had a business, there's a lot of pay stuff that we have to do, like documents and all that things.
So I would just say do the ones that you have, and then if they ask for you, they'll give you a request for evidence for it.
Yeah, I had to do it. All right, thank you, Mr. Jim. One more question. I mean, this is different about the one that I was asking you for. My dad, he wants to be a U.S. He wants to do the test for the for the U.S. Citizen. He's
Yep.
already 80 years old, and he's
Yeah.
been resident for like 25 years already.
Yeah.
He needs to do the test, like regular test, or I
Not
mean,
the regular, it's not the regular test. It's a much simpler test, and he can do it in his own language.
Okay, but either he needs to do it, right? Is there any way that he can skip that or no?
Only if there's a doctor who says there's something medically wrong with his brain that he can't do it.
That's the only way.
Yep.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mr. Gino.
Thanks, Maribel. Have a great night.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central. 3 p.m. Central, we'll be back for an hour. I think I'm going to do a show hopefully every day this week, all 5 days. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central. I hope you all have a great night. And I thank you all for being here. It's a good show. Thanks, everybody. Big up to all the artists. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease. I mean,